Hey guys, guess what? Guess what day it is? It's Jedi Academy Day! Ow. Yes, today is the 10-year anniversary of Star Wars Jedi Knight 3 Jedi Academy. This game is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Jedi Knight series are considered one of the best Star Wars games in existence, and I can't agree more. This will be a very special video, if I might add, as I'll tell all of you why I think Jedi Academy is one awesome piece of amazing shit. Let's get to it.
After the success of Jedi Outcast, Raven Software immediately started to work on its sequel, Jedi Academy. Seeing as Jedi Outcast got everything right about the perfect Star Wars game, there was no doubt that they could do even better with its sequel. The reason why I think this game is so amazing is, well, you're watching this video to find out, right?
As a start, the gameplay is completely outstanding. Let's talk about the most important thing in a Star Wars game, the lightsaber.
The lightsaber combat is what exactly should be used for every future Star Wars game that doesn't only focus on using a blaster or whatever. The way the lightsaber works in this game is that it reacts to how you move and where you look. By that I mean the direction you're swinging the lightsaber depends on which direction you're going. You can swing it in 8 different directions, and you can steer your swings in any angle you want by moving the mouse around. You will swing your lightsaber in whatever direction you choose, and it will swing in the angle of where you're currently pointing. Fucking genius! For you, the viewer who is watching this, may think it looks all shaky and whatnot, but the reason why it's like this is because of what I just mentioned. You move around so much in order to control your lightsaber in whatever direction and or angle you want it to go. It's not like you'll have a steady view in real life when you're swinging a sword or something. You can also perform special attacks by clicking both the right and left mouse buttons at the same time, or jump forward while attacking to make some crazy ass acrobatic moves, or maybe just use saber throw to take down your foes. It's just fun! What applies to this mechanic and makes the gameplay even more fun is that you can play the game in so many different ways. For each mission you complete, you can add points to 8 different force powers, 4 for the light side and 4 for the dark side. The light side's force powers are more for the defensive player, while the dark sides are for the offensive ones. You can get abilities like Force Heal, Force Grip, and my favorite, Force Lightning. Also, if you're one of those boring people who doesn't want to play with a lightsaber, then the option to play with a blaster is still there. You get everything from a normal blaster, sniper, plasma bombers, and so much more. Everything is there for you to choose. So what is the story in this game? Well, the game begins with a shuttle flying the new Jedi students to the Jedi Academy on Yavin 4, where we get introduced to the main character, Jaden Korr, and one of the most annoying Star Wars characters, far after Jar Jar Binks of course, Rosh Pennin.
I'm Rosh, by the way. You seem really nervous.
Rosh tries to start a conversation with Jaden, but he doesn't seem to like it very much. Just look at that slight movement.
Hey, dude, what's going on?
Look, you're invading my personal space.
Ah, I see. So where did you get the lightsaber?
I don't really have to tell you that.
Oh, okay.
So you wanna go to Taco Bell? I guess. And then they went to Taco Bell. Okay, not really. In the past games of this series, you always played as the character Kyle Katarn, but in this game you control Jaden Korr, who could build his own lightsaber without any kind of Jedi training. So this is a special kid. While on their way to the academy, the shuttle gets shut down and crashes onto the surface. Now Jaden and Rosh have to find their way to the academy on their own. On their way, they encounter stormtroopers and some chick holding a scepter that shoots some kind of laser or whatever.
What?
Jaden wakes up and the first thing he sees is Kyle Katarn. Ah, God! Actually, this is kind of romantic. The principal for the academy is none other than Luke Skywalker, and he introduces all the students to the Jedi Academy. Also, he is not voiced by Mark Hamill in this one.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
I'm sorry.
That was Luke Skywalker!
Kyle Katarn now acts as your master, but since the academy doesn't have too many Jedi masters, 2 students will be assigned to 1 master, and in this case, you're teamed up with Rosh. Woohoo!
I'm sorry,
You go through your typical tutorial that in fact isn't as bad as people may think. You get to learn your abilities such as using force push and pull, force speed and force sense. What I realize is that this tutorial comes after the event of the shuttle crash, where you start the game by running through this forest area without any kind of text that says, "Hey, you have to press A to do this or something." They make you begin the game by knowing absolutely nothing, but here they either show you or tell you that you maybe can do certain things in order to proceed.
Hey, maybe you can use your saber to make another bridge. Great, let's go.
Instead of making it long, driven and tedious, you get to learn your basic moves while advancing to the next area. It's not shoving it in your face like most games nowadays. You learn by experiencing and discovering, instead of learning by tutoring. Sure, you get tutoring once you get to the academy, but heck, it is called Jedi Academy, so I don't see why not. Later, you're sent off to different missions. Each segment has 5 different missions. You only need to complete 4 of them in order to advance, but I'd recommend playing all of them. Why? Because this game is so fucking awesome! You will get a brief rundown on the mission objective, and sometimes Cal Katarn will join you. There are missions like retrieve the droid from the Java, stop the hijacked tram, disarm the bombs, free the prisoners, and fight Boba Fett. Yeah. Now, some of the objectives in each mission may seem repetitive to some people, considering you have to pull this lever, or jump from place to place, or fight a bunch of dudes over and over again. But the reason why I don't see this as a problem is because the atmosphere is so great you don't really mind. The atmosphere played a huge role in the movies as well, because there were so many different types of planets with different climates. You will get to visit these planets in the game as well, and some of them being from the movies, such as Tatooine, Coruscant and Hoth. And while I landed on Hoth, I thought to myself, can I ride the Tauntauns? Yes, you can ride the Tauntauns! Yay! I kinda forgot the other creature that lived on this planet that was also in the movie. The game got also praised for its customization, but it's funny because you don't really have a lot to customize with. You get to choose if you want to be a male or female, you get to pick clothes and choose between 5 different species: Twi'leks, Sabraks, Keldors, Rodians and humans of course. You can also customize your lightsaber by choosing between different hilts and colors, and later in the game you can decide if you want to play with dual lightsabers or a staff lightsaber. I, who love staffs, of course picked the staff one. Now, you may think that this is an RPG at this point, but it really isn't. It has very few RPG elements, but the game itself is very linear. There are not a lot of choices you can make throughout the game. Well, you can decide how you want to kill your enemies, slash them, shock them, or maybe push them down off a cliff, I don't know. While playing this again, I realized that this game isn't completely bug-free. I don't know if I really can call these bugs, more like weird situations. There was this one time where I livestreamed this game and I shot a stormtrooper from below and he fell forward while denying the laws of physics, and I just thought to myself that that wasn't anything that would occur more than once. But I went to the same area during this playthrough and tried the same thing, and yep, he did the same thing. Dumbass. There was also this part where my lightsaber got stuck under these pillars, so I was completely defenseless. I couldn't do much, so what I had to do was to submit and get killed while yelling towards my monitor with the foulest Swedish words you could think of. There may be some unfair deaths here and there, but damn, that doesn't matter because it feels so satisfying killing enemies one by one. Almost like a real Jedi. The challenge level is where it's at as well. Well, except for the boss fights. Counter starts now! Ha! Silly girl. While most of the enemies aren't that much of a threat, the ones that are wielding a lightsaber will give you a lot more of a challenge. Some hits can take up more than half of your health, even with full armor on. There are even times where you have to run away from a fight and find a place to hide so you can use Force Heal to patch yourself up. While Force Heal and Force Drain can fill up your health at any time, as long as I have enough force power that is, you can find med packs that are scattered around the level, as well as armor that gives you the extra protection you need before your health points are taking damage. Man, remember the time when they still had that stuff in games? Not like that regenerating bullshit. The platforming can be quite tricky as well, but since your jump gets higher and higher further in the game, you can make your own shortcuts to different areas and such. You are the brain. The game isn't.
But all of this is not everything. The biggest reason why I love this game so much is the multiplayer.
The multiplayer had so many great things coming to it. You could play all kinds of different modes, such as free-for-all, capture the flag and duels only. But people didn't use the multiplayer for these modes only. With creative minds, people would start creating more modes, more options and more customizable things. JA Plus would become the most popular mod created by the players. You got more lightsaber hilts, more lightsaber colors to choose from, jetpacks, more emotes, new moves and so much more. A lot of people would start using the multiplayer to just hang out and talk to friends while goofing around on whatever map you were playing on. You could also stumble upon people who would roleplay, which I also used to do back in the day. And you know what? It worked really well. Jedi Academy was and still is the perfect game to play for the Star Wars roleplayer. The server I used to play on during my greatest Jedi Academy days was on a clan server called Imperial Fleet. This server used a mod called Luger mod, and to simply put it, the main feature is that you could build and add objects and or buildings on the map you're playing on and have it stay there for as long as you want. This was just one of the multiple modes you could play on. You could download new skins, maps, models and HUDs created by other people. The Jedi Academy community created so many great things that made the multiplayer live on even to this day. There are still servers being active today with a lot of passionate players. I've never seen such a big community and so much love for a game that the game would become 10 times better by the help of people's creative ideas. But sadly, even with such a strong fanbase, the lifespan of this game is slowly fading to the darkness. But that's to be expected. People have been begging for a fourth installment, but we all know that it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. With everything that has happened to the Star Wars franchise, the future is clouded. And so it is for most franchises, we all know. But that doesn't stop us from going back, right? I can say that my childhood love for games has slowly disappeared as I grew older, but that happens to everybody. We start to realize the good and wrong in the world of interactive media. We become more judgmental and critical to almost every little detail as we grow to understand more of the games we're playing. But that doesn't necessarily mean we won't have a great time playing newer games. We will point out the flaws the more we see games getting released, but yet we still keep on buying more and more games. We can't really tell what the future of gaming is gonna be like, but we're all so curious to find out. Will it be better or worse? That's really up to you to decide. As kids, we didn't have too many problems or concerns in our lives. So when we booted up our favorite game and stepped inside that magical world which filled our imagination with greatness, from that moment we knew that we were going to have a wonderful experience. And no one can say that you can't have that feeling as an adult. What do I mean by that? I mean that you should go and start up your favorite game. I'm telling you, go! Go replay the games that formed a big part of your childhood. Go for it, and have a blast while playing it. Whether it's 8-bit, 16-bit, 64 or just any game at all, we'll look back and appreciate the fond memories we once shared with those games. What we experience will always stay in our hearts, as well as the games we grew up with and loved.
And that about wraps up my analysis on Star Wars Jedi Knight 3 Jedi Academy. Seeing how this game is now 10 years old, I just felt like giving it the love it deserves. And hey, if you want to get this game, which I highly recommend you do, you can get it on Steam for no more than $9.99 US. This is DexTheSwede signing out. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. Now get the fuck out of my house! Try this at home.